What's up, everyone? Nick here from The Real Hero Show to talk about the newly released Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power trailer. I have not watched it today. I saw it drop. I've spoken with some people about it briefly to see what their thoughts were. I have my own reservations, so I'm going to watch this live with live reactions. I don't know if I'm going to pause it as I go through with it. I might. I'm not going to go through this trailer super in depth. I will probably do a video after this, sort of let it digest inside the old noggin here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and check this out, shall we?
There was a time when the world was so young. There had not yet been a sunrise. But even then...
Okay, so we saw a screenshot of this a long ass time ago. And at first sight, I thought it looked great. Not knowing really too much about it, thinking that we would essentially get maybe something with the white tree, maybe the Silmarils. Again, just not knowing too much when this screenshot first surfaced a couple of years ago, I think. So let's go on.
There was.
Obviously, this is what I was referring to. So now we see them, trees. And obviously it's super bright, so this isn't going to be the best sort of viewing aesthetics. I'm sure maybe on a 4K television will look a lot nicer. But let's go on.
Light.
Call to me, lands far away.
The eagles are coming.
Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
Okay, so there was a little bit of a teaser that was released a couple of days before this. I showed this, like some of the same clips we just saw. And I just want to say the comment that was landing was most likely to be said at one of the Maiar, meaning one of the five wizards, or perhaps it's Saruman. So, kind of curious. That would be my guess is what it is. Since there has to be an enemy, and obviously we do know that the premise of the Second Age does revolve around Sauron. So let's keep going.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
Right. So, I know a lot of people aren't really familiar with the existence of the Second Age, especially since the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy takes place within the Third Age. If you want to read a good book, read the Silmarillion. It's an excellent piece of literature. Which takes place from the First Age, and then part of the appendices, part of like the Unfinished Tales, other Tolkien works that I have that I'll go more into later, talk about the Second Age and what happens. And if I remember correctly, the initial article that came out about this show was talking about how the Second Age was basically being crammed into 50 hours worth of content, which technically expands 1,000 years, but instead won't expand 1,000 years. And that's sort of my concern is, tampering with the literature that Tolkien created that is meant to have this consistency over 1,000 years. The events that happen at one point in time have a very long and lasting effect. The problem I think I have knowing where this show is headed is that everything is being crammed together. and because yes, there are characters that lived at one part earlier on in the Second Age that aren't alive in the latter parts of the Second Age. Obviously, elves have an extended lifetime, so yes, they are alive for quite long. Humans, dwarves, the river folk, harbuttles, harfoots, like, I'm not sure where they really all fit into place. And I think some of the newly created content, I don't know how well it's going to boil over with people, myself included. That's just something we're going to have to see on an individual basis here. But let's go on. Cool shot, cool CGI.
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
Gil-galad and
You have not
Galadriel.
seen.
Oh, all right. So, yeah, maybe it looks like the maybe Sauron, or just this could be from Melkor, from the city of Gondolin, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. This could be from the First Age, a little glimpse from the past, or something else though. I'm kind of curious, but looks pretty cool. I wonder how dark the series is actually going to get.
What I have seen.
So this reminds me of, obviously, like the actual like size factor of the Fellowship of the Ring. At the end, I'm totally blanking on the actual two statues that the Fellowship is journeying down the river. But I'm assuming this is Numenor, which is definitely one of my favorite pieces of lore from Tolkien. So, I really am going to be critical on that season whenever it happens. I think it's season 3, they might have said. I'm gonna have to go back and check.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people,
Orcs.
but all peoples.
I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all.
The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
Hobbiton, maybe. Yeah, so interesting. I want to be excited about it. I am slightly reserving my my excitement because of how near and dear Tolkien and Tolkien's lore is to my heart. I would love for nothing more for the accuracy of his lore and his literature to be in the show. I'm not going to set my expectations that high, though. I can't really compare it to anything else. I think, again, the only thing really that can be compared is what Peter Jackson did through 6 movies. And sure, he created things, he added things that weren't in the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the books. And the same thing for The Hobbit. He changed things that were in The Hobbit, and he left some stuff out too. But I think overall he did Tolkien justice. And it is unfortunate that even his son, J.R.R. Tolkien's son, Christopher Tolkien, passed away a few years ago too. And what's left is just the Tolkien estate. And I know they allowed Amazon to use certain pieces of content and not they don't have access to everything, which I'm glad because much like I would hate to see what happened with Star Wars, with Lord of the Rings. That would probably be my cutoff point for sure. Um, I would never pay, buy, or support anything ever again from them. Um, so anyway, yeah, it was a decent trailer. I think it just showed us a little bit more that there's this looming evil threat, which we know was coming, but at the same time, we really didn't get a lot. And again, the issue that I have with this is 1,000 years crammed into 5 seasons, which will probably just make it seem like every season is a concurrent year of the previous or the next. So I don't know. Again, my expectations are kind of low, lower than I think most. And again, that's just because I am a big Tolkien fan. I am going to do another video though, kind of going in more depth of things from the Second Age, I think, and actually pulling from the resources that I really hope that these showrunners pulled from themselves. I think the trying to create new characters can also present issues because there are a slew of characters to choose from and to really focus and highlight that are written, again, characters that were created by Tolkien, which has a deep lore and deep literature attached to them. And I feel like they're going to be tarnished. I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that they will probably get some things right. They're probably going to include some things that are directly from the book in the pages. But I think, and again, my concern would probably be around anything that they're just creating from their own imagination that just doesn't really actually align with other parts of Tolkien. But again, like you want to include new characters from Numenor or new characters from the hobbits, like the Harfoots, like sure, that's fine, I guess. But my concern again is how attached will people get to them? Like, because you can read a book and you can actually see what the characters are like there and gain more feelings towards them. I don't know if that's going to be extrapolated in this show. So we'll see. It was a decent trailer. I mean, I know they dumped a ton of money into this, so I mean, obviously it should look nothing short of amazing cinematography wise and effects wise. So that's something I'm sure the score will be epic. And yeah, I think it also just, we'll see how the acting goes as well. And how well the characters look, these different these different races, between the dwarves, between the halflings, between I guess the Ents that we're seeing, the Numenors, the elves, the orcs. And we've seen screenshots that came out a while ago. And I think the orcs did look cool. Although I do have something to say about the orcs. Look, not trying to, piss anyone off here, but there were never any female orcs because orcs were created from dead men and rather dead elves. And it was only male elves that entered combat. And it was only male orcs that were created from male elves. Saruman talks about that in the Fellowship of the Ring when he's creating the Uruk-hai. So don't know how they messed that lore up. That was a big thing I heard about before this trailer and was like, y'all read the books, right? Right? Maybe not. Okay, that's fine. Just, pull things out your ass, that whatever. So, I hope people are okay with female orcs getting slaughtered. But hey, I didn't write the show, but I guarantee if I did, I could probably do a better job with what I know at this point. So, yeah, I'm going to do a more of an in-depth review with the actual lore from the pages that I hold in my hand from the books that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote himself. So let me know what your thoughts are. Did you like the trailer? Did you hate the trailer? Do you care about the trailer at all? Do you just want to see what happens in the show? With what you know about the show going into this point, are you concerned at all? Do you think it's going to be good? What are your expectations? I obviously think most of my concern and my likings are probably going to be centered around characters that have not been mentioned yet. So no spoilers there because it will spoil some things with some of the major topics at hand throughout the 5 seasons, aside from Gil-galad and Galadriel. So may the light shine upon you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.